All right, beautiful friends. So we're still going to be talking about our friendships and our relationships during this struggle of perimenopause and menopause and all the things it deals with. So some unexpected things happen to women in midlife. So after years of saying yes, we begin to say no. After decades of keeping the peace, we begin to speak truth. And after a lifetime of putting up with everyone else's needs first, we begin asking ourselves what we need. Just last night, my husband came to me and he was like, well, tell me what I can do. And I'm like, I can't take that mental load. I cannot stop and sit here and try to figure out something that you can do to help me. I can't do it. I can't. So the outside world can look, to the outside world, it looks like we become difficult, right? But often we're just now awake. Perimenopause arrives in a season when many women are already carrying a lot of responsibilities, and they're caring for aging parents, launching children into adulthood. They're navigating changing marriages, shifting friendships, career transitions. We already talked about the entrepreneurship increase, and the physical changes of a body that no longer responds to what we used to do. At the same time, something else is changing. The tolerance for carrying what was never ours to begin with begins to disappear. Many women spend years believing that being a good woman means being endlessly available, trying to hit all of the Proverbs 31 things. We become experts at anticipating everyone else's needs while ignoring ourselves. We volunteer for more committees, absorb more burdens, tolerate more unhealthy relationships, and silence is just one more option. Then midlife arrives. Emotional energy required to maintain those patterns is running out. Some blame hormones, while fluctuating estrogen and declining progesterone can be part of it and certainly does affect our mood and emotional regulation, but they are not creating the problem. And it's just simply revealing it to ourselves. So the woman who suddenly finds herself unable to tolerate constant criticism may not be more sensitive. She might really be recognizing the unhealthy behavior. The woman who no longer wants to spend every holiday managing everyone else's emotions is not selfish. She's learning her boundaries. And the woman who begins questioning old expectations might not be having a breakdown. She might be experiencing a breakthrough. This is a gift hidden within the struggle of midlife. For years, it's been about building family, building career, building a home, building stability. But now God begins inviting us to build something else. A life that reflects who He created you to be. The story of Esther is not a story of a young woman discovering her purpose. It's the story of a woman stepping into her purpose when the moment required it. There came a point when silence was no longer an option. There came a point when she had to use her voice. And she had to recognize that God had uniquely positioned her for the work ahead. Many women enter midlife believing their most significant contributions are behind them in the past. But Scripture tells us otherwise. The Bible is filled with men and women whose greatest impact comes later in life. They have been shaped by experience, refined by hardship, strengthened through seasons of uncertainty. Perhaps that's what God is doing for you now. Perhaps this season is not about decline. Perhaps it's about preparation. The wisdom you've gained from raising children, the compassion developed through caregiving, and the resilience forged through disappointment, and the discernment sharpened by experience. None of it's wasted. Absolutely zero. God can use every lesson, every scar, every victory, every failure to prepare you for what is to come next. So midlife isn't closing a chapter, it's a commissioning. The world may tell women that aging makes them less relevant. God often does his deepest work in the people who have finally learned what really matters. This season to speak when you once remained silent, to set boundaries where you once felt obligated, to pursue callings you once postponed, mentor younger women, share your wisdom, walk confidently in the gifts God has placed within you. And you probably have a really good feeling about what they are. You talk to younger women, they're like, well, I don't know, and it could be, and it could be, and it could be. But you're like, I know. I know what God has called me to do. I know the gifts he has given me. There is no question. You're not becoming less. You're becoming more fully yourself. And perhaps, like Esther, you have been prepared for such as a time like this. So, was talking about we are finally able to speak up, finally able to set boundaries, and finally able to rediscover ourselves. Midlife can be consuming, or can be a commissioning, not a decline. So here's my question for you right now. What am I tolerating out of habit that God may be calling me to address with wisdom, courage, and healthy boundaries? What are you tolerating out of habit that God may be calling you to address with wisdom, courage, and healthy boundaries? I hope this kind of sums up this season for you a little bit, and we're going to get more into some other things here in the next week. But I'm heading to St. Louis today to check on my mom, so I hope you guys understand if these aren't coming out as regularly. Just for a weekend. I love you all, and I hope you have a great day.